So I want to ask a question. Not just one question, but like I want to talk about a specific topic, and that is something I have talked about before on my YouTube channel, and that is corporations and core skateboarding. I want to ask other skateboarders. I'm here at the Braille House today. Tonight is their 10th anniversary party. So there's also some people from Cincinnati here, from Revive. So there's a lot of people here to ask certain questions about how they feel on this kind of topic. And the reason why I like talking about this kind of stuff so much on my channel, because I have done it a lot in the past, and that's because no matter how you answer these questions or no matter how you talk about this stuff, you're always wrong. And somebody somewhere is always going to have something to say about what you said in response as to why this is better or why that is better. There's a lot of opinions revolving around this issue, and when it comes to this kind of stuff in skateboarding, it's such a heavily opinionated and conflicting topic. I want to talk about, are corporations bad for skateboarding? Do they help skateboarding at all? How can they work together? And how does the consumer see this? And how does the buyer see this? How do the shop owners feel? How do the brand owners feel? There's a lot of variables here. So we're going to ask all of these guys some questions.
Yeah. Gucci gang, Louis gang, Fendi gang, Dolce gang, Sachi gang, Prada gang, lot of gangs.
Because I'm wearing a onesie.
You are.
This is how I normally roll.
That's how you normally roll. How do you feel about... Casey, I'm going to ask you too, actually. Yeah, you come on in here too. You guys look great.
The most comfortable I've been today.
How do you guys feel about corporations and skateboarding? How do you feel about like big corporate brands like Nike? Mostly I'm talking about skate shoes because really that's all...
The ones people have issues with.
Yeah, I mean there's no big... Like Nike doesn't make skateboards, you know? So...
I bet they will.
I could see it.
I could definitely see it.
So how do you feel about it?
I think that you're talking about skateboard or like shoe brands specifically.
I guess for the sake of this question, let's say it.
I'll say I have a deep appreciation for the good things that skater-owned shoe companies are doing.
Okay.
You know, like I mean, I carry Soltech and only Soltech in our online store for a reason.
Okay.
You know,
that's cool.
I'm not carrying Nike because I don't like what Nike's doing.
Okay.
I think it's a slippery slope. Like I like supporting.
That's why I like these questions.
It comes to like a moral of the person. Like if you want to support like smaller people. Like,
okay.
Like kind of like Soltech. Or I wouldn't say they're smaller, but they're definitely smaller than Nike.
Right.
But then also people like Nike are making people do skateboarding for a living, but their ethics are bad.
Yeah.
It is,
dude. It's a hard toss-up because it's like,
how the person is.
Because it's like if they can pay their riders, but like other companies can't. But what are they doing to be able to pay their riders? So it's like, who's really like, which battle are you gonna fight? You know.
I'll say this: I used to skate Nike Janowskis all the time, and then as soon as I switched over to like S and Soltech and stuff, I felt way less guilty.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel better in my soul skating Swift right now.
I feel better in my soul tech.
Oh! I just want to say this though, because I'll talk to David at BLUETILE about this, and you know,
I feel like Dave's gonna have a very similar rant.
He does, but he also gets people, and we talked about this recently. He'll get kids that'll come in that'll be like, buy all the skate shoes that are on sale on like. We'll just throw out a random name. This isn't an accurate statement. I'm throwing this out because for the sake of this conversation. But like Lakai's website, they'll do like a sale. You'll be able to get 5 shoes for like $80. And it is sick. But kids won't come into the skate shop and they'll expect a cheaper price. So they won't pay full price for like a skater-owned brand. They'll only pay a discounted price for a skater-owned brand.
Straight from the distributor, straight from the company, you're saying.
So it hurts the skate shop. So it's like, that's the only reason why I'm talking about this, because there's 2 sides of the coin here.
There is 2 sides of the coin.
You know what I'm saying?
That's an interesting thing you bring up. That's hard.
It's hard, isn't it?
It's a really hard question to answer.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like skate shops who don't carry like Nikes and stuff can't really like live like the skate shops can?
I mean,
I don't carry Nike. Well, not saying I don't carry Nike for a reason, but I don't carry Nike, so I don't know their policies. But that does, I'm told or I hear that their minimums are quite high, making it harder.
Their minimums are insane.
Making it harder for other brands, right? For shops to carry other brands, which would not help those other brands.
Right. Well, Revive, you guys are like an anomaly. You guys are like have made it work beyond belief. So it's like, you know what I mean?
I love these dudes.
It's a business model for the future.
We've always tried to just operate in the way that's best for skateboarding.
Exactly.
Try to support companies. Try to support companies that have skateboarding's best interests in mind. And I'm not like trying to talk bad about the big corporations.
Well, of course not.
Sometimes, I mean, they do good things as well. I mean, the courthouse in LA, Nike backed all that money for that great skate spot.
Yeah.
You know, like that's a great thing.
That's why it's hard, dude.
It is a slippery slope. But
yeah.
I don't know. I grew up skating Americas, and now I'm skating Americas or S. You know, I haven't switched. I've always been backing the brands, and I'm going to continue to back them. Okay. And then once I got to a place I could start selling them, I started selling them. And they've always been really good to me, so I have no reason not to.
Yeah, okay, cool. Well said, well spoken. These guys both have YouTube channels. I know you know their faces and know who they are, but if you don't, their links are down there in the description.
You're a good guy, Dale Dicker. I don't care what anybody says, you're a good dude.
I got you guys.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm asking all the individuals here how they feel about corporations in skateboarding. Specifically, I guess I'm talking about skate shoes because those are the only bigger corporations that are coming into skateboarding. You got Nike. I'm gonna do your thing, Sam. You got Nike, and you got Adidas, and you got New Balance, and you got Converse. You got all these big corporations coming.
I feel like I don't know enough about it to say an opinion. Skate shops are awesome, and I want skate shops to keep being awesome and sell core shoes. You know, skater-owned brands. So, you know, I don't know too much about it, but that's my little 2 cents.
Okay, Kelly.
Same.
Just kidding.
No, I'd say, I mean, I rep Adidas because I like how they skate. If they skate well, I'm not gonna buy shoes that aren't good.
Yeah.
Like if Lakai's making shoes that are good, I'm gonna support it. But if they're not, I'm not just gonna support it just because they're skateboarding. Not necessarily. I mean, of course, I always try out different shoes to find out ones I really like.
Right.
But, I mean, when it comes down to if they're actually putting skate shops out of business and stuff like that, of course it's not good.
Shoes that people skate, they kind of revolve around trends as well, you know? It's not really always about the technology of the shoe. People like to say that, but when their favorite skateboarder, like, switches shop, when he goes from, like, this brand to that brand, all of a sudden they like that brand. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So there is a lot of stuff like that involved, and people don't want to admit it. You know, they want to be the person that's like, no, I've been supporting this brand since the...
I will say that one thing that I don't blame pro skaters for doing is if Nike offers someone like millions of dollars per year to ride for them, then like I don't dislike them for saying yes to that.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of people that don't like certain skaters because they're like, oh, he's not on Lakai anymore, he rides for Nike or something like that.
Right.
And like I see where they're coming from, but if someone shoved like $13 million in your face or so, however much I don't know how much.
And they were like, here, you can skateboard for a living with this much money. What are you...
Who wouldn't do that? It's not a black and white thing, it's a lot of gray area.
It is, you know? It is.
You guys, here, I have David, father, BLUETILE, on the line, and we're gonna sit here and we're gonna talk, and I'm gonna ask him the same questions that I was asking Brian and Sam, because I know he has an interesting perspective on this topic. Wait, did you do a video already like this with... Oh no, that was about zoomies. Okay, never mind. Okay, so we're good. But yeah, we talked about this the other day.
I have to put up my Jedi hood.
Yeah.
There we go.
Let's
Now
be
we're...
like, let's be the same. There's like somebody outside right now, so like this, it's gonna catch the audio of them like sawing whatever they're sawing, because they're sawing something. Anyway, okay, so we talked about this the other day. We had the conversation of like skate shoes, like corporate owned skate shoes versus like skater owned brands, i.e. like S, America, Lakai, versus Nike, Converse, Adidas. I mean, because really those are the only... I mean, I guess aside from Zoomies is a corporation, right?
Oh yeah, I mean they're a corporate skate shop for sure.
We were just talking about how kids like will come in and they'll, you know, they only want to buy the shoes. They want to buy the shoes like when they're on sale, so they wait for their favorite skate brand to go on sale so that the price is lower. And you know what I mean? They can't justify spending $80, you know, on a shoe, which, you know, you can't blame the consumer, but it's kind of this thing where it's like, you know, corporate versus skater-owned shoes. It's like, what are you going to pay for? You know, what are you really getting when you pay $80, $70, $90 for a shoe versus when you pay $40 for a skater-owned brand? And does that actually help the brands and the shops, you know, stay afloat if you're only buying their product at sale price?
That's why the skate-around brands are struggling so much.
Yeah.
Because... I think I talked about this a little bit too. There is a corporate strategy, or even if it's not there's a retail strategy, and that is if you have competition and you have wiggle room to lose some money because either you have more money or you have better margins, you'll flood the market with cheaper product so that your competition can't stay afloat. So these bigger companies like Nike and Adidas and Converse, they can lose money for a decade on a certain capsule of footwear like SB or whatever.
Right.
Soltec and Lakai and all this stuff can't stay afloat for that long in a market where $39 shoes are the norm.
Right.
It gets frustrating when a consumer will wag their finger at you and point their finger at the shops for not carrying skate brands, but it's their habits, their buying habits that determine what we order.
Right.
You know, so like I can't continually order where that we're not making money on. And so what happens is when you have, you know, a lot of skaters are mad about the collector side of shoes, like quick strikes or the crazy, like say the ugly sweater dunks or whatever.
Right.
Like that's so whack or that's so lame or whatever. I'm like, okay, well, every single one of those customers comes in, buys their shoes, and does not even a breath go, can I get a discount, or these are too expensive, because they know the price of a pair of shoes.
Right.
Skaters, they go through shoes all the time, so they think that they should pay $35 for a pair of shoes or $39.99 for a pair of shoes.
Right.
And I don't blame them. Absolutely, go for it. But that is what is driving skate brands out of skate shops and to closeout websites, and that is also what is killing those brands.
Yeah.
You know, like so to me it's like, don't tout this I support core if you're only paying $39.99 for footwear, because you are not supporting anyone but yourself. Which is fine. You can be number one and you can take care of number one first, but don't act like you're on some high ground because you buy closeout shoes everywhere.
Right.
You know,
right.
That's the hard part. And the consumer will not understand that.
Right.
You know, so
I mean,
I told you this before in our talk. Like one of the brands I carried, and I stopped carrying them a couple of years ago because I just couldn't do it anymore. And the last straw was like when I was looking over my sales reports for fall footwear, and we literally made less than $1 off of the entire order for that season. Less than $1.
That's insane.
But then your core skateboarder is gonna yell at me for not carrying that brand anymore, even though they only bought it once I put it on sale.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like it's just like a huge misunderstanding, misconception, and like miseducation. Like they're just ill-informed of the actual issue. So, I mean,
and in some cases, even if they are informed, they're still gonna pay the least amount possible for anything they can get their hands on.
Right, and that's, you know, I mean, that's the market. People want to get their product for as cheap as they can possibly get it. So it's like you've said before, you can't blame the consumer, but it's kind of but you also can't blame the shop.
No, you can't.
You can't
blame.
There's
a lot of fingers pointed at the shops.
Yeah.
Like I was watching a thread on Kinetic skate shops.
Sorry guys, I know that sound is really annoying. This is a leaf blower outside.
I can't even hear it. But anyway, I was reading along a thread. A friend of mine owns a shop called Kinetic in Delaware. And this is a skateboarder basically tearing Kinetic apart, saying they charge too much. Skate shops charge too much for footwear.
Yeah.
That's why they're struggling. You can get blah 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 shoes on X corporate website for this money.
Yeah.
You know, like this cheap. So it's funny that in the same breath that person attacked Kinetic for not carrying enough core brands, because they do still more than I do.
Yeah.
He attacked them for not carrying enough of that and too much corporate footwear, and then attacked them for charging too much. In the same breath said he bought his stuff from a corporate online dealer. Like an online, like just because you get it online, like doesn't mean it's some kind of core initiative.
Well, that
like
in,
it's
in
corporate
that case,
retail. It's online corporate retail.
Yeah, and I mean in that case, like the person is ill-informed. They're ill-informed of like what they're saying.
I can't believe you don't carry this, but I buy all my shoes off Amazon for $40.
Yeah,
like you're supporting corporate retail.
You're right.
So it's funny that in the same breath they'll knock you for carrying corporate brands.
Right.
They will buy stuff from corporate retail.
Right. I mean, I've even seen like pro skaters on Instagram talk about this very thing about how, like, 'cause then you can make it come full circle in terms of, like, Nike and Adidas and New Balance and all these, like, big corporate brands, like, putting their hand into skateboarding, which, like, in this case, like, Vans is a part of that category, but a lot of people overlook it because Vans has that, like, image. Now, I mean...
Right, they're owned by Vanity Fair, by the way, people.
Yeah. People
Vanity Fair.
The magazine.
Same people as, I think, JanSport or Eastpak and Lee.
Yeah.
Lee Jeans or like Wrangler. All that stuff.
Yeah, and I mean...
Look up. I don't know the brand specifically, but... VF Corp, Vanity Fair Corporation owns Vans.
Since they have a history with skateboarding, I think people overlook it. They have that action sports, skateboarding, edgy, punk history behind it, so I think that's why people overlook it. But when you really break it down into the principles, it's all the same principles because, like, that is the capitalist market. Like, if money is being made somewhere, brands are going to try to go in, tap into that market and make a product that's either equal to or better, if not for a better price or a cheaper price or, you know?
Well, also something to point out about Vans, and Vans is doing well for us right now because we're in a small town.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of Vans stores everywhere.
Yeah.
But, like, Vans' corporate strategy, like, they want to own more than 85% of their market. So they want to control 85+% of the market, and then allow that 15-ish% for retailers. So they want to own 85% of direct-to-consumer business.
I see.
So that is a brand that I carry that is in direct competition with me. And they're opening stores next to everyone. So it's crazy that people are so supportive of Vans and will throw Nike or Adidas or Converse under the bus.
Right.
Like, they're not opening skate shops next to skate shops.
Right.
Like Vans is. Like, my friend Jack in Charleston got a Vans store near him, and now basically 4 blocks away from his shop, he's competing with another skate shop, but he sells their brands in his store.
Right. In terms of Vans isn't, they're probably not, they're thinking bigger picture. They're thinking like, okay, we have to compete with Adidas, Nike, and Converse. Like, we have these bigger brands that we need to compete with, and if we don't directly compete with them, like, one of those brands is gonna, you know, be a top tier over every other brand. And, you know,
I think Vans is our #1 seller right now. And I mean, it was last month. Definitely not hating on Vans. Like,
no, of course not.
One thing that I think that people don't realize, and a lot of shop owners don't realize, is you have to adapt to what's going on in the market.
Right.
So right now, Vans is doing well for me. But once they're not doing well for me, and people are like, well, I'm only going to pay for $39.99 for Vans, guess what? I'm not going to sell Vans anymore.
Right.
Because I can't pay my bills on that.
Right.
You know, and if that's the case, then all the Vans stores will close too, because they can't support a business off $39 shoes either. Right. And it's crazy too that people act like $65 is a lot for a pair of shoes, but when the first pro skate model shoe ever came out, the Nautis on Etnies, it was $65 30-something years ago.
I know, and see, that's also the funny thing, because as rent and like the cost of living has gone up exponentially in the last like 15 years. When I started skating, skate shoes have been the same price. Like the only price that I think has slightly risen is like stuff on Vans slip-ons, Eras, Authentics, and like
$5 to $10. Yeah.
Right, and that's not even that much. That's not that much of a
people
jump.
Forget that like Chad Muska's and all that stuff were $120.
Right, and
15 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of kids expect free product too if they send you footage, so it's kind of like...
we get a ton of that. How can I get on Flow? They think Flow is just this free-flowing thing that they don't have to put into, that they just get free-flowing product. You just turn the faucet on and all the free stuff comes in.
When you're on a team, you're on a team, so you're working together. You're not just like, hey, I skate really good and I deserve something for my talent. Like, it's you're working together.
Yeah, that's that's the disconnect, though. It's like people think they're getting paid for their talent, or they're getting free stuff for their talent.
They're not.
Talent comes second.
Yeah.
If you can't sell product for a brand, you are not going to get sponsored by that brand.
Right.
So if you're completely unmarketable, you're not going to get sponsored.
Right.
Period. You know, so that's something that people miss, that it's not just about how good you are.
Right. And yeah, I mean,
although if you're not good at all, don't ask to be sponsored. If you're a beginner skater, you know, like, don't ask.
Yeah.
Just skate. Have fun.
Yeah.
You know.
I want to make it known really quick though that we're not hating on like any brands. We're just talking about the market and how it actually is in real time, and to give a better understanding to the people that are buying this product.
Dude, I love America. I love BLUETILE. They're awesome. They're sick. But if you're not going to pay full price for it, I have no incentive to carry it. I can't carry it. People forget that, you know, just salary alone will run over 100, 200, you know, close to $200,000 a year, depending on how big your store is.
Right.
You know, and I don't pay myself a lot. You know, like people forget that rent alone is exponential in a retail space. You know, it's like you have to make. You can't make $1 off a pair of shoes and keep your lights on.
Right.
You know, like I'd have to sell 2,000 pairs of shoes. And that would break even. That wouldn't feed anybody a breadcrumb.
Right. I mean, I just recently made the switch over to Cupsole, and I'm loving it, you know? After skating vulcanized shoes for years.
That's a good example, because you were hesitant on that ultra range.
Right.
You know,
it's a perfect example.
And it's a $90 shoe.
Right, and the amount of money you're spending on that shoe, like you're getting so much more life out of that shoe, and it's skated great, literally up until the day that it died. Like it wasn't like I never really lost flick on the shoe, and I'm a type of person that's like, no gimmicks, no, I don't buy this, I don't buy that. And as I'm getting older, I'm understanding, and as I'm
technology
personally
isn't a gimmick. Come in and they're like, I can't believe you're charging $90 for a pair of Vans. Well, I don't set that price. Vans does.
Yeah.
And you know, it's funny when people are like, you know, BLUETILE charges too much. Everybody charges the same thing for shoes. The company sets the price for the shoe.
Yeah, I know.
It might be $79.95, $79.99, or $80.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys take the tags off of the Nike box, but on the Nike box, there's a little tag that comes and it says suggested retail price.
Right.
I would assume that people are upset that Nike and Adidas and all these bigger brands set their foot in the industry in the first place, because if they didn't, then those skate shoe brands would still be prospering. So, but it is a free market, so it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to tell them that, hey, democracy doesn't exist here in skateboarding. You can't sell stuff here. You know,
right?
It doesn't really work like that.
Wait till the Olympics comes, and we'll see what happens to core versus corporate.
Yeah.
You think some core brand's going to be able to pay for advertising during the Olympics?
Yeah.
No way. It's going to be Nike, Adidas, maybe Converse. New Balance. It's going to be all these bigger brands that can afford to be visible in the Olympics, which I think is kind of crazy. But
yeah, no, it is pretty crazy. I mean, I don't like, even though we're a generation apart, like I still grew up in the skateboarding that was still self-run by skateboarding. It's not really run like that anymore, but it doesn't make me not want to skate, or it doesn't make me think that I hate skateboarding now. You know what I mean? I love skateboarding enough that I'm going to try to adapt with its changes, you know? So
right. Same. And you have to as a retailer as well.
Right.
And it is as a retailer, it is 100% the consumer that determines what's sold in the shop.
Well, hey, you guys, David has a YouTube channel. For those that don't know, it's down in the description. He makes content all based around working at the shop and skateboarding and what they do and what actually goes on there. Please go check it out. It's like amazing. It's sick. It's called The David Show. It's literally like watching a TV show. It's amazing.
All right.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Goodbye, everybody. Comment, like, subscribe.
Yes, I know, this was a very long video. A lot of the times when I have done videos like this, people have requested that to make them longer, so I'm trying this out. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video here. I wanted to make sure that we covered literally everything. I try to think of comments and questions that I'm going to receive after the video is uploaded, and I try to answer them in the video. Yeah, I really just wanted to try to cover as much of that topic as David and I possibly could, because we have these kinds of conversations all the time off of camera. There's actually a new SLAMMIN hat available on my website. If you pulled through to the end of this video, if you had 25 minutes to spare of your life, you now know that there's a new SLAMMIN hat on my website. I'm very excited on this one because I designed this one myself. It's just like the font and the lettering, but there's only 10 of them. So yeah, they're very limited, very small run. I might do another run if there's a demand for it, but yeah, there's only 10 of them. They're live on my website right now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As per request, here's an Oreo. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.